Hello, what is up guys? I am the Quantum Flux and welcome to episode 3 of the Basics of Cinema. In today's episode we're going to be talking about video, of course. The video, camera, lighting, and the basics of how to do that. So first of all, what camera do you use? Now the camera we're going to be using is, I would recommend for cheaper things, a digital SLR camera. And to use something along the lines, something like that, you can even use a cheap $55 potato camcorder if you want. And as I mentioned in the first episode, anything works. Just get the best thing you could possibly get your hands on easily. Don't go and kill yourself or whatever by attempting to get the best thing you can possibly get. Just get the best thing that is easy to do and is reasonable. 2, the backdrop. And whenever it comes to this kind of video, the backdrop. Now, this is very specific, by the way, and I don't know why I'm mentioning it in this video, but I'm making a scene change, and I'm going to actually be moving into a recording studio as of about 5 seconds or 10 seconds from now, and I'm going to be just demonstrating that in 3, 2, 1... And I'm back, and now I'm in my new recording space here in the garage. Awesome, amazing space. Now, 2 things have disproved, one of which is the audio quality and the background. Now, I just talked about background, I'm still on that, guys, so background. You want a good background, and for me, I think a solid is gonna work great. Now, I'm using this old wall behind me for now. This is going to be improved in the future. Hopefully, this is not gonna be the norm. Now, another thing is the acoustical quality is improved. Just wanted to make a quick mention of that. That has improved. I will be getting some curtains in very soon, which should get rid of most of it because it's like this room, and then there's like an opening into the bigger garage. So that's been a big problem, and it will be improved. This is first stage. This is ghetto, and we're gonna have to improve from here. This is like the first and the worst we're gonna get. So, moving on from backgrounds, just make sure backgrounds, just to make a little quick summary of that, just make sure backgrounds are good and interesting, right? You really want your backgrounds to be very vibrant in the background, or you want them to be very solid, like in my case. I'm doing a solid background because first off, it's all I have, and second off, it's a good simplicity to allow you to focus on the subject, me. That sounded incredibly narcissistic, but I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry. But anyway, next and stuff. I didn't know what I was talking about. Next things next. Now we really want to make sure we're framing up right. We want to make sure that the subject looks good in the frame. Now, in my case, this is a good example of how one would record either themselves talking, would really generally be someone in the center. And I have this microphone off to the side because, hey, I'd much rather good audio quality than have no microphone in frame, and I think getting that good audio quality is very important, particularly considering the bad recording conditions I'm under. So I'm using this as kind of another interest. It's like, oh, interesting, right here, and oh, interesting. So it kind of guides your eyes, and it kind of gives you things to look at. So it's kind of like this, oh, weird microphone thing. Who made the microphone? Like you ask questions, why is that there? It's blatantly there, and there's a reasoning for it. So, third things third and stuff like that. So, basically, long story short, if you want to be able to make good framing, always, and I mean always, add interest into the foreground and make sure you can take the elements of your scene, draw lines, make sure you got me horizontal and you got this thing vertical. I'm drawing lines. So, you know, you got all that kind of stuff going on, and you want to be able to just make sure it looks visually appealing in the composition of it. Third off is you really want to have good lighting. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but good lighting is incredibly important in all video. If you have bad lighting, it looks terrible. In fact, I didn't have any other real lighting in my old setup back in my room, which just so happens to be on the other side of the wall here from where I am now. Actually, what I'm using now is 2 cam lights, as you can see here, kind of set up in a ghetto fashion. As you can see, this is an incredibly ghetto setup, and it's horribly done, but I've got it and it works. So I've got this really crazy ghetto setup here, and I'm using the 2 lights. It diffuses the light. You got one light coming from low down on my face, and you've got this coming from the upper end, so you kind of get that interesting contrast between the left and right side of my face. In fact, this kind of hairstyle thing I'm going for, which is the swoop. The swoop. No one knows the swoop? No one knows the swoop? Good, means you're alive. What's that supposed to be? I don't know, don't question it. So it kind of goes along with my hairstyle even, which is kind of an interesting idea because it goes like that to that. You got your first light, your second light, doing that. You're pointing at me, lighting. Okay, last thing off, you want to make sure that you can utilize your camera and play to its strengths. My camera is a good example of one with a great sensor. The sensor on my camera is incredible. Nikon, I have a Nikon D5200 DSLR camera. I'm currently using an 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens because I'm poor, so don't judge me. Basically, we're using the strengths of this camera. Good sensor, good color depth, and in my opinion, a fantastic contrast ratio you can use to color grade. I think this camera is one of the really great colors. It really brings colors out well because it's a Nikon, and Nikons are amazing even at the lower end consumer levels. So I'm playing to the strengths here, and I'm allowing this camera to capture the light, you know, and making sure that we take subtlety and improve that subtlety of color and make that subtlety look amazing and stuff. For instance, you can see the red here. I like to make this red. It might be muted, it might not. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the color grading, but this red here on this Rode microphone is a good example. In fact, maybe the red on my shirt is a great example as well. This is a really strong red and maybe a strong yellow. I don't know what I'm gonna go for in this particular situation. I'm thinking vibrant, but maybe or maybe not, depending on what I'm thinking. So, long story short, this can always play to your camera's strengths and make sure that it looks great. Figure out your own camera and your own setup. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to be, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I would like to make more of these. Next week, we're going to be doing some more. I think we're going to be, I don't know what we're going to be moving into next. I'm thinking editing, stuff like that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be linking some information down in the description below to get more in depth into this because this is a huge subject and I really overviewed it very fast and very unorganizedly. You know, really, guys, dive into this and get really good at cinematography and videography. Anyway, guys, I am the Quantum Flux, and I will see you in the next video.